Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Purple People Podcast. We're going to change it up because we've had a request, and I want to make sure that you leave the podcast smarter. So today's random fact is kangaroos cannot walk backwards. Welcome. How is everybody?
Hey, I'm doing good, man.
Find a kangaroo that's walked backwards. Get back to me. How's everybody doing, man? We got Dorian Foley with us. We got Kyle West. We got Adam Carlson. The whole crew is in tonight.
Yep, yes, 4 for 4.
4 horsemen, ladies and gentlemen. So we tried to keep it going. I can't believe we're still going 302 episodes later. This is episode 302. Grant Hardly Wait. I don't know who came up with this, but Can't Hardly Wait was a staple of my youth. So thank you.
I like those stupid rom-coms. I don't care who knows it.
I've
watched way too many.
Thank you.
Some of them are just way too damn amusing.
I love the dry humor and the stuff, and I hate it because I won't say that I'm a huge fan, but I do support some of his stuff, his movies. Stuff with Ashton Kutcher. I really like No Strings Attached. I also like What Happens in Vegas because the comedy is just so stupid. It makes me laugh.
I like how you can take a very attractive girl, put a pair of glasses on her and maybe some overalls, and then she's just, like the worst girl ever.
Oh, man, that was such a good movie.
So good.
Yep, Grant Hardly Wait, episode 302. We always run into quick hits, but I want to see how everybody's doing because it's just been a freaking awesome Monday, which is not what Mondays are known for here in El Paso, but it's been a great day for me. How are you guys doing?
I like my Mondays because my Mondays are like my day off work, so I got to do whatever I want. So my Mondays are always awesome.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Yeah.
Mondays are just another day, man. I know that there's so many people that have those weekday 9-to-5 jobs. I'm not one of them, so Mondays don't mean a lot to me, but I do believe today is the first day that the Twin Cities Orthopedic Center is open to the public for medical practices up by the Vikings facility, so that's really cool. Otherwise, I've just been kind of bumming, and I slept in way too late today, so I'm fully rested. I've drank way too much coffee. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah. He's all jacked up on Mountain Dew. I love it. That's what I want right now. I want a nice cold Mountain Dew, but I'm going to drink water because diabetes. So let's jump right in. What a great way to start the show. Let's jump into some quick hits. If you guys are following the NFL's top 100 players list, I believe this is the one voted on by the players for the players.
It is.
Our own wide receiver, STEFON Diggs, is ranked number 65. That's a bit low for the season and the epic walk-off. I think that's a little low for him.
I think it's too high.
Ooh, debate.
Man.
He's not even the best wide receiver on the team.
I know, but he's the good thing we can say, I think we'll all agree with, because I understand why you think he might be a little high, based on that fact, because Adam Thielen is the number one for the team. Stefon's getting better and better every year. He's gradually
3-4 touchdowns this year?
Let's look it up. I'm going to say it's in the range of 6 or 7.
It wasn't many. Was not many. And I understand that one play is going to be replaying in some people's head. And when he gets the ball in his hand, he can break a lot of plays open. But, he didn't even break 1,000 yards.
Adam Carlson with an upset here. He had 8 touchdowns this year, man.
Oh, well, I tell you.
64 receptions, 13.3 average, longest was 59, and 849 yards.
Well, you can't complain with 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Was it Diggs or was it Thielen that only had 4 or something like that? Then I know he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't have as many touchdowns, but he definitely got the yards. So,
because between the two, there's no debating their ability to just get things done as wide receivers. But I don't think of either one as being, those top tier level wide receivers that are going to make lists like this. And to see him that high, I was shocked because I didn't think he was going to make the list.
You didn't think Stefon was going to make this list?
I did not.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's a good place for him. I think I would kind of agree with your statement about how maybe he's not a top-tier receiver in like a Julio Jones level, but he's ascending. I think he will continue to do good things for the Vikings. No, scratch that. He'll do great things for the Vikings this coming season. He's a really dynamic player out there on the field. You really got to account for Stefon. I'm actually fine with the placement.
I actually don't want him to get a lot of rewards and accolades because the Vikings got to pay this guy, and the more ammunition that his agents have,
Right.
the more I don't like.
I see.
That price tag.
I see. What'd you say?
I said it hikes up that price tag.
Sure does.
Absolutely. I see Adam's ulterior motive. He secretly wants him to stay, and he wants him to stay on the cheap, which I'm totally cool for.
He's not going to be taking no Adam Thielen deal to stick around.
No, not at all. Whatever. He has an iconic moment in the franchise history, but you're right. He's not the number one here. I will say what I was defending him earlier on is he's gradually gotten better. I know his stats kind of mirror what were last year. I'm looking at the stats now. He had a little bit more yardage last year at 849 this year, 903 last year, but the touchdowns have went up. The averages went up. So I'm okay with it. He's gradually getting better and improving his game, and he puts in the work for it. Don't let it fool you. He definitely puts in the work in the offseason, but I'm glad to see him on the list.
If he could have finished all 16 games this year, I think he might have broken that 1,000 yards. But
Absolutely. I think that's the only knack that I have for him. That's all right, though. We still love Stefon. I'm glad to see his peers think so highly of him on that list. There's another Viking or two up there, so we'll keep you updated as the weeks go on. This is pretty freaking great. This is my favorite quick hit of the week. Brian Robinson today, defensive end for the Vikings, posted on social media, quote, saying, "If I'm taking photos in the new facility, that only means one thing. I'm back. So excited to still be in purple again this year and get to see all the Vikings fans as well as my fans. Thank you for the support." And this will be his 12th season, and all with the Vikings.
Now, I missed something along the way here because I knew that there were rumblings or something about Brian Robinson maybe, retiring soon. I never thought it was anything like, he might be retiring this off season. That thought never even crossed my mind. So now when all these news organizations are jumping on this saying, "Oh, he didn't retire, he's coming back," I'm like, is this news? He's under contract. He didn't retire. He hasn't said he was really, downright considering retirement as far as a blank statement across the whole.
Yeah, he didn't pull a Ben Roethlisberger where he's been flirting with it for 3 or 4 years.
So I don't understand why this is such a big news. I fully expected him to be in camp. I put him on my projected 53-man roster because I never even considered for a moment he'd retire. I don't know.
I think a lot of people were projecting Danielle Hunter to just completely take over that spot to where B-Rob would just, I guess, maybe retire. But that's not his MO. If you know anything about him, he's accepted that veteran role. And I think that he knows he's going to see, limited action for the Vikings, but he still wants to be a part of this team and he can still contribute. And I believe that he will contribute and he will help us win games this season. I'm excited to have him back for another year. He's a good locker room kind of guy.
I think he's done more than accepted. I think he's actually embraced being a veteran in the locker room.
Yeah,
taking these younger players, accepting a role where he knows that he's not going to get as much playing time, but he can rotate in and still make a big impact. We're getting a lot of B-Rob love in the chat here. We got a skull to the bowl for B-Rob from Trenton Canitz. We got Sergio Moreno here, who's excited to see 96 questions.
96 questions. Yeah.
Yang Yaj is happy to have B-Rob back for one more year. Sergio Moreno says that he needs to get B-Rob a ring. Everyone's just so excited to have Brian Robinson back. And let's be honest, he's a productive player even at a stage where he's accepting that smaller role, and having him on the roster just brings even more talent and depth and experience to a locker room where all of that stuff can help bring the team to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to mention, too. 96 questions, first of all. Going to be really sad if that doesn't continue. So glad we get that for another year. But even though he doesn't get the super big sack numbers like Everson Griffin, he gets a lot of pressures. So that's pretty key. And him being able to stay a little bit more fresh because he's not – like Kyle said, I think he's going to switch off with Danielle Hunter being the starter this year. That's my projection. He'll rotate in, and then it'll be a little bit more fresh, and he can still do what he does best.
I'm a big fan of that sub package where they bring him in and they use him as an interior defensive lineman and let him rush the quarterback. I think that's cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been consistent and solid, ever since he's come to Minnesota. So I love it. Hey, man, as long as you can do it, hey, come on, B-Rob. I like to see that, that fish line, hook.
Oh, yeah, reel him in, man.
So, hey.
Yang Yao says he's the last guy from 2009, and I don't have the stats or anything in front of me to confirm that, but that sounds accurate.
Yeah, I thought he came in. Well, if it's going to be his 12th season, yeah, maybe. Let's check it out. I'll look that up too. That's perfect, man. I know Everson Griffin came in 2010, so he's been here for a little bit. But
yeah, I can't think of anyone else from 2009 that would still be on the roster.
No, it's been a while.
He's going to be 35. Actually, he is 35. April 27th. Oh, B-Rob, you're so old. Kidding. I'm kidding. So he came in 2007. I'm looking here. Minnesota Vikings. So he's been with us since 2007. So him and AP would be the only two, but AP's not with us anymore. So, yeah.
Longest 10 years Viking player, huh?
Yeah, hell yeah. Speaking of Adrian Peterson, to transition to people who won't accept backup roles, former Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson still believes he is the best running back in the NFL. You're not. I love you, AP. Love you to death, but no, you're not. He says, I know once I get back out there, I'll be blessed with a healthy season and show people I'm still the best in the league. I'm healthy. I'm ready to roll. If you want someone to help you win a championship and be productive, be very productive, you know how to contact me. I love the confidence here. I don't think it's arrogant. I don't think it's cocky. I do think he's healthy because he's had a lot of time to rehab. I saw his workout video of him running 7 miles on a treadmill at various speeds. We've never denied the kind of shape and athlete he is. I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. You need to go to a team with a good line like Philly or Dallas, and you need to be the backup. He would be great.
Don't work.
Hey, he's not going to take that role, and the price tag is going to be the biggest thing. He's still going to want a lot of money, but if he could take a reality check his ego at the door, and actually vest the words that I just read off, and actually take an investment in those.
But there's that triangle. He wants to get paid. He wants to be a contender, and he wants a featured role.
Yep.
Now, finding someone who can complete that for him, I don't see it.
It's a circle, Adam, not a triangle.
It's a circle. It never ends.
I mean, if I love the confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Just shut your mouth. Get back on the field. Get back on the field. Nobody says that you can't play. And humble yourself a little bit in that backup role, and then just prove it on the field. When you get your opportunities to come in, whatever downs or whatever, do your thing. If you think you're still AP and could, break 5,000-6,000 tackles at one time, and then do it. Otherwise, shut the fuck up.
That's a hot take of the day. I'm with you, man, because last year, I mean, he had 2 really vintage games last year, but it's the injury bug. And now it's not, I tore my meniscus, I tore my ACL. Now it's like neck and back injuries. It's just his body's going to reject him one day. I'm not saying that he won't be in great shape. He'll still be able to run fast and all that, but he's not been the guy that's like, oh no, here's a tackle, I should run away from it. He's like, I'm going to run through this person's soul, kind of like Marshawn Lynch. That's going to catch up to you, man. Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying. He's got to go to a team with a great offensive line, and it's going to be those 2 things you mentioned. Can you take a reduced price tag and roll?
Enthusiasm for Adrian Peterson in the chat. J-Dos D says AD equals all done. Will Dog says, I love Peterson, but he ain't AD anymore.
I want him to find a role because he's 1 or 2 touchdowns away from getting 100 in his career, which is a great milestone. He's a couple 100 yards away from breaking in the top 10 all time. Personally, for seeing him, as a Viking so long, that's what I want to see. So I think it'll happen. I think he's going to end up on a team. I think it's probably going to be later on towards right before the end because we know he's not going to go through preseason. He's not going to play. So maybe someone gets injured. Hopefully not, but I think that's the role in which he'll get called and hey, this guy's down. Do you want a shot? Here's an offer.
Now, when we're talking about 100 players that can reach 100 of something, Kirk Cousins is at 99 career regular season touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So that's a fun 100 to look out for.
I like that one a little better. I got a question here in the chat from Trenton. He wants to know if we think that the new kicker that we drafted will overtake for Kai Forbath as the Vikings kicker. My opinion is that if you draft one, you're planning on starting them. I know they're going to give the company line of it's an open competition and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, hey, we drafted a kicker. He's going to be our guy.
In the 5th round, he wasn't even the last guy we took.
Traded up to get a kicker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the days are numbered for Kai Forbath. I liked Kai while he was here. He showed a lot of consistency, but it's done. I understand that it's going to be a competition that he will have to just absolutely just be stunning to win. I would be floored if Forbath was the Vikings kicker entering this season.
I just don't see that happening.
Nothing personal against him. I don't trust him. He makes me nervous. Does
he make you as nervous as Blair Walsh did?
No.
On extra points, maybe.
Equal to Blair Walsh.
Yeah, on extra points.
But just still, I don't know. Like, he's had a couple games where it's just like, ooh, should have made that. Like, what's going on? And I'm just kind of clenching my face in my hands, like, and it's like, I don't know. So
we got a compliment in the chat saying that our podcast sounds a lot better. And that's good because we all have some pretty decent equipment here now, finally.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry. Finally got a microphone and some headphones for you guys because we're always ever improving. I still never decorated the place like that one guy asked a couple of years ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you got the dog in the background, so now everybody's paying attention to the dog.
He's the star of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Moving on for these quick hits, free agent defensive tackle David Perry is visiting Minnesota Vikings. He is 6'2", 317-pound nose tackle. He was a fifth-round selection by the Colts in 2015. He spent 2 seasons there, starting all 32 regular season games for the team before being claimed off waivers by the Saints for 1 season. So
I don't understand this pickup. I don't get it at all. I understand he's a player with starting experience, former draft pick, I get all that, but the Vikings sure are rolling the dice on some players with character concerns, aren't they?
I don't know his character concern. What's wrong with this guy?
Well, he was in Arizona, Scottsdale, and he stole a golf cart taxi when he was all drunked up and kind of wrecked it up a little bit.
That'll do it.
Yeah. And I understand people do dumb stuff.
I don't know. That sounds like fun.
That
sounds like fun. I'm not going to hold that against him.
Yeah, that's not the best moment of his career.
But if you're in the NFL, you're supposed to be rich enough to cover that stuff up, It's like, come on, buddy.
A fall guy, Adam.
Throw that. Yeah, you gotta have a fall guy.
Way to bring that one full circle.
I love it.
Yeah, this is the Los Angeles Rams approach. Like, we don't care what you did. Can you come in here and kick everybody's ass for us? Because we need people.
I have no problem with the Vikings checking out some interior defensive linemen. And to be honest, I think the Vikings locker room is pretty much clean enough to this point. The only other player, I guess, with some somewhat concern would be Mike Hughes, but I don't even see the concern there.
Nah.
So,
Sergio in the chat says, who hasn't stolen a golf cart?
If we were playing Never Have I Ever, I'd have to drink right now, so I'm guilty. I did used to work at a golf course though, so that I have an excuse, but not really. Probably not a good excuse since I've
never even seen a golf cart taxi.
Yeah, I have.
I didn't even know those existed until I wrote an article about this guy.
We won't get into that. Moving right along. So this is a major thing. This could actually run into kind of the main topic today. We could probably go back and touch on it. So this is a breaking news for the day. This affects all of sports everywhere. The United States Supreme Court has ruled that bans on sports gambling are unconstitutional. This means you will soon be able to bet on the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota State Representative Pat Garofalo wants to ensure Minnesota can capitalize on sports gambling revenues before the market is dominated by offshore companies. I totally support this. It's kind of like, it reminded me of like Prohibition back in the day. We're like, we used to not be able to drink. People in 50 years would be like, we used to not be able to gamble. I think so there's a progressive movement in the NBA. Adam Silver's commissioner of the NBA. He's all for this. He lets his players speak their mind. He's all progressive on this stuff. But you know what he's smart is for the business side, he's like, I want 1% of all these earnings. He's going to make $1 million bajillion off of that because there's so much money in this. The only thing that I worry about is there are rumblings that sometimes you're going to be able to do these bettings at the venue. I don't want this to be at the venue because I feel like that's going to invite a lot of violence out of anger for people to lose a lot of money. If you want to do it on DraftKings or whatever do it on your phone. by all means. I think that'll take away distractions, but I think it's going to cause more distraction and a more negative if they do it at the venue. But this was only a matter of time. I think
Minnesota is in an interesting situation because they have a Native American reservation where gambling is allowed. So for them to implement this, they will have to get the approval of the Native American communities, which is going to be kind of interesting because I bet that there's going to be some sort of negotiation where a cut of that revenue has to go there too.
Which I'd be okay with. I'm okay with that going on.
Why not?
After that, we've already got people from Minnesota pushing the bill already to get legalized sports gambling because this allows single game betting to be the decision of the states. It was a 6-3 decision. New Jersey won the right to host single game betting. And now other states say, okay, we can follow suit here. So Minnesota's already taking those steps to get there. The only question, I believe, is how long it'll take and will they be able to get the consent from all the parties involved to get rolling on the project soon.
I don't think that it's going to be federally regulated because that means all 50 states have got to be on board. There's going to be a lot of, even though there's separation of church and state written into all of our values here in America, there's going to be places like Utah that are super conservative and Florida. They're not going to be like, no, we're not going to do that. So I think it's going to be ran by each state like we were mentioning, but I give it 3 years tops. This is going to be a regular thing, which you can kind of already do now. I mean, we're already doing fantasy football and all this other stuff. Like I mentioned DraftKings earlier. There's a couple of sites you can go to. So I think long as these companies...
I do daily fantasy on Yahoo all the time. I even played daily fantasy hockey. I won money. Now I don't watch hockey.
That's awesome.
I mean, I was going to say, we're always talking about Vegas odds on like, Vegas odds have the Patriots as the Super Bowl champions for next year or whatever. So I don't know. I don't really think this is going to change too much. I know there were some people in the comments that I was reading on like Adam Schefter's tweet who were thinking that somehow this is going to lead to games being fixed, but I don't believe that conspiracy theory is ever going to happen. I mean, players make too much money, coaches make too much money for them to ever want to throw a football game to try to...
Well, if this were going to happen, it would have happened by now because there's legalized horse racing in pretty much every state, at least Minnesota. I don't know about others. But if bets were going to be thrown and races were going to be thrown and events were going to be thrown, it would already be happening.
Yep. We're just going to wait for the NFL to get their hands in the pot, and then it's going to be rolling. It's going to be interesting to see what Roger Goodell does.
So let's go round table really quick. Would you guys ever actually bet money on the Vikings? Like knowing our track record of just
never, ever in the playoffs. Yeah, if there's a regular season game, sure.
Playoffs?
Play the Dolphins. Yeah, we'll kick the shit out of the Dolphins. Playoffs. I'm betting against the Vikings every time because they always break my heart.
Oh,
you're not wrong.
No, look what happened. I mean, the miracle was great. Shouldn't have won that game.
I already play fantasy football, so I gamble enough.
Yeah, I would rather do that anyways. It's a lot more fun because people think they know how to do fantasy football, and they don't. It's so much fun. That's a more fun side that I'm with Adam on that. That's what I would go with. All right, so this is an interesting quick hit. Rookies switching positions per ESPN 1500. Mike Hughes, outside corner to nickel corner. Didn't see that one coming.
Now, when Hughes was drafted, we all assumed he would be moving inside to be the nickel.
No, he's replacing Trey Waynes because Trey Waynes is getting cut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Trey Waynes is trash. Put Terrence Newman's old ass in there. Wow. Just start the rookie because all these armchair coaches are great.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. This was something that was going to happen anyway. Mike Hughes was going to come in. He was going to try to win this role. And so far, Hughes sounds very, very receptive to the idea of moving inside to play nickel. And I think it's a great fit.
Love it. Brian O'Neill is going to switch from left tackle to right tackle.
Or interior, or who knows where he's going to be.
Yeah, that's a question mark.
It's pretty much any spot on the offensive line you could see him. Probably not center, but, anywhere else, maybe.
Maybe backup. Everyone's a backup center on our team.
Oh, sure.
They can all be backups.
Jalen Holmes is going to switch from defensive end to defensive tackle.
Be nice to have another pass rushing presence on the inside, even as a rotational backup guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the best name ever. Hercules Mataafa from defensive tackle.
I want that jersey.
Defensive tackle to linebacker or defensive end.
It sounds like linebacker is going to be his fit.
I was going to say, I like linebacker from what I read.
And we talked about him, I think it was last week or the week before. And I was talking about how he was a little bit undersized for the defensive line and how they were going to try to find a spot for him. Well, apparently linebacker is going to be the spot. And when you look at his resume, his motor, the number of sacks he's had, his development over the years, there is so much to really love about Hercules.
Hey, Adam, it's almost like the coaches have a plan when they draft these players.
I know, right? But I firmly believe that the reason so many teams passed on him is because they had no idea what to do with him.
That's so funny you said that. That's so funny you said that, Kyle, because he's like, I see have you guys seen the SpongeBob meme where he looks like a caveman? He's like, huh. Just like that. Yeah. It's like the coaches have a plan, and all these armchair quarterbacks and coaches and GMs are like, there's a plan? What's a plan? Oh.
But one thing you can always trust with Mike Zimmer is he can take a talented player and he can find a role for that player to get them on the field and be productive. And although I wouldn't expect Hercules to come in and win a starting job or heck, maybe even make the 53, I don't know. It's going to be a little bit of a process, but I think that if the Vikings are willing to put the time in, they might have found a real gem here.
And last but
Hercules.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, has a spot on the team.
He's got a cool last name too. Mataafa. Like,
I like it.
That's a cool jersey. I want that jersey. I'm buying it.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, Holton Hill is going to switch from a cornerback to safety.
It's his best chance to make the roster.
We can have some depth at safety. We can always use depth at safety.
Yeah.
So crazy that this is going to be the last one, but the main topic today, let's go back in time to the greatest Viking head coach, Bud Grant. He's having another garage sale. God, I wish I could be a part of this. He says, and quote, I'm 90 years old. I can't predict what they're going to do next year. You never say never, but the last one is this year. His garage sale runs Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m., Thursday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be at his home on Oakmere Drive. And if you could be a part of that, this is your last chance. Definitely try to make it.
It could be your last chance. You never know. But I like what Bud Grant said. I mean, he's 90 years old. Who knows how much longer it's going to be going on. But there's definitely that part of me that I've never been to his garage sale. I've had the chance to meet him already. Really cool guy. Just actually stood in line, BS with him for a minute while he was signing my photo. It was real cool. I'm thinking about checking it out again, I'll be honest.
I would if I were you. If I were as close as you are, I would definitely try to find a way if it's possible with your schedule, man. That's too cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Bud Grant's going to live to be 100, but
he's too stubborn. He's too stubborn to die this early.
Totally. He is 90, so I mean, you should probably take any opportunity to see him that you can.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's made national news too. Like they did this last year for Lebitard. You guys know I love Lebitard's show, and they called him while he was doing it. And they like to joke around and mess with people on there. And he was talking about it last year. I'm glad that this is such a topic, not only on our show but like different platforms too. That was something cool to check out if you guys can go on YouTube and find it. But man, what an icon! And how was he, Adam? Tell us about your experience. How personal was he? How laid back was he? Was just like a regular person.
You know, you get all those videos of him standing on the sidelines with the stern face, and you would picture this person that would not have much to say, but you know, he smiles, he talks to you, he takes time, and you don't get that from a lot of people when you go to autograph signings. So personally, I had a great experience hanging out with him, and some of the other players that were there to sign autographs, and I love that whole experience. I'm waiting for more of those kind of autograph signings for the Vikings to come, because right now it's Minnesota Twins time, and all the stuff is Minnesota Twins autographs, and I'm not a baseball guy, so this don't work for me. I mean, I had to go and get an autograph from a golfer / Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, so that tells you how hard it is for me.
Oh my God.
You had to, Adam.
I had to.
Paige, she's
I
so
had to
dreamy.
get my fix.
She's so dreamy.
Oh God, I don't even want to ask that question.
I'm not.
Why do the people in the chat got to do this?
What happened?
I'm not doing it. I'm not touching it.
Read it out. I can't see it. I'll look it up. All right. I don't know.
Some things that are too morbid even for me, and I'm not going there.
I'm not going there.
Dear God. Hold on, guys.
We can place bets on it now since betting is legal, Adam.
No.
I'm opening this chat up. What?
That's just a big no from me.
I did think it was funny to go back to his.
Scott Schwab.
Smith, you have to share it.
Scott Schwab says, "Who outlives the other, Bud Grant or Sid Hartman?"
No, we're not playing this game.
I'm gonna give the edge to Bud Grant because Sid's up there, but I don't. I think it's because Bud Grant's just too stubborn to die.
Yeah.
Oh man,
You're not wrong though.
Bud Grant is gonna be 100 years old, still in his Minnesota Vikings polo shirt in minus 20 degrees weather. You know what I'm saying? Going to
Dude,
Texas.
that was the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, I'm super old, and you guys are." I can't say that word. We were already cussed a couple times on the show. Don't be a bunch of pansies. Get out here. Let's do this. This is football weather. That was such a cool moment, man. And to open up the new stadium, wasn't he the first one to come in and like get behind the Gallahorn?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was Bud.
Oh man, Bud Grant.
now if you are going to the garage sale, remember he does have photos, footballs, stuff like that there to get autographed. So if you want some of that autograph action on some Vikings memorabilia, it's there. Otherwise, there is actual like yard sale stuff there to buy as well if you're into that kind of thing.
That's the best part of it, is that it's an actual garage sale. Like, yeah, it's Bud Grant, and he's selling like photos and autographs.
Yeah, you could probably buy an old sink and have him autograph it if you wanted.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it.
This is Bud Grant's old sink. See his autograph?
I could totally see Kyle West would be up there and he would get on the show and be like, "Why do you have an iron?" He's like, "This is Bud Grant's iron." And I haggled and I got it for $3. Dude, that would be amazing.
So great.
Oh man. See, Bud Grant puts a smile on everybody's face.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, for sure.
Love Coach.
So Mr. Smith guaranteed us there would be a social media question this week. What do you got?
Ooh. Peanut butter and jelly. Do you like grape jelly or strawberry jelly?
And everyone, a lot of votes for grape because it's the color of the Vikings. I think it was pretty unanimous.
Yeah.
I had to go with flavor over color. I'm strawberry jelly all the way.
Freedom Philosophy says YouTube did not notify me that you are live. Well,
that's crap.
You gotta click on that. You gotta click on that bell icon to make sure you get the notifications.
Yeah, subscribe, hit that bell, then
I'm
hit the
looking right
thumbs
now
up.
too. I'm on YouTube. I'm on the homepage, and I don't see a notification for it. That's weird.
Maybe we're not actually recording.
Oh
Maybe
God!
this is all made
Don't even
up.
say that.
Oh yeah, you're that guy that says it out loud, huh?
Remember when we used to do shows over Skype, and like I'd say 1 out of every 4 or 5 shows we'd lose the audio for,
Okay, we lost
and
the
then we
audio.
do it again.
I remember one time I was in Virginia and we did it, and it was a long show. It was like an hour and a half, and then you guys sent me a message about 5 minutes later, like, "Guys, we have to do the show again." And I just threw my phone. I was like, "Damn it! I'm not going to be nearly as interested in this. Can we change the topic?" She's like,
I know,
"No."
right? I mean, it's fun to go through once and get everybody's reactions. Second time, it's a little,
Oh, that's so funny.
Didn't we do?
Scott Schwab says that we have 499 subs. Is that right?
499 subs. What does that mean?
People subscribing to us on YouTube.
Oh my goodness, is that true?
We do 499. Yeah,
All right.
That's
almost
thanks to you
that
guys.
500. I like it.
That's thanks to you guys all the way.
So cool.
Hey, Dorian, we got a question for you in the chat. Since you live in California, are you going to the Vikings-Rams game?
You know what? Good question, and I have an answer. Talk to my cousin Raymond, who is a Rams fan. Boo, but pretty much bless his heart. He wanted for my birthday in a couple months. He wanted to get tickets for that game. So yes, I will be at that game.
Dude, that's gonna be such a crazy game.
I will be at that game. I'm calling off. I'm sick, whatever. My hip hurt. Yeah, I'm not going to work that day. I'm going to my Vikings.
Oh, Freedom Philosophy says he just subscribed to us 200 times. That's a lot of love.
Thank you. You didn't save any lives, but I think my dog just perked his ears up. So thank you for that. I know that he's still around.
Sergio says he already has his tickets for that Rams-Vikings game and might see you there.
Oh, man. So what we said before for the guys that are closer to Minnesota, not like me and Dorian, we're kind of on the West Coast pretty much. But if you're up there and you actually link up with some of us or other fans of the show, like let's say Ying Yaj and I know Scott Schwab is in there. Let's just take you guys, for example, when you guys meet up. Send us your photos. We will shout you out. And take a picture or do something with the Pro People podcast in there. We'll promote the hell out of that. That would be sweet.
You got to remember, we still have that promotion going, too, for the person that finds our brick.
That's very true.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
For the home games, right? So,
yeah, U.S. Bank Stadium, we have our brick outside by the boat, and nobody's found it yet.
So in case you guys were wondering, this is what it looks like.
Woo!
It's got all of our names.
Oh, that's beautiful, baby. Look at that there. Got all three of your names on it. Woo! So
look at that. That's a Purple People podcast sandwich, and look who the base is.
I'm the meat. Or peanut butter and jelly. I don't know what kind of sandwich it is.
No, you can be the meat, sir. We can take it there.
I don't know what goes in the middle. I don't want to be the roast beef, though. I mean, I like roast beef, but I don't want to be roast beef.
You, Adam, you go in the middle. All right, let's not make this weird. So
I've been eyeing up some games to attend. Surprisingly, tickets are actually really cheap for some of the home games this year. So I might be going to multiple games. Pretty excited about that. I've even been eyeing up a first row ticket, and it's only about $230. I think that might be worth the experience.
You should do it because first row seats, are you talking the ones that are on like ground level?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's unlike pretty much anything else you're going to get in the NFL. That stadium is really unique in that respect. That's worth it. If you can do that, if you can do that, that's an experience I think you should.
The bad news is that I think it's for the Miami game.
What's bad about that?
What game is that? Yeah, I was just about to ask you that.
Because it's Miami.
I knew he was.
You're only going to see touchdowns when Minnesota's on offense on that side of the field.
Oh God! See, I'm glad that like we can joke about it now that we're confident enough. Remember a couple years ago when we went 3-13 and we're like, "What is life?"
Hey, still never been 0-16.
Very true.
Something to strive for. I'm kidding.
Oh,
getting that Cleveland Brown philosophy there, are you, Kyle?
Yeah, get that number one overall.
Kyle, are you planning on coming up to training camp again this year?
I don't know yet. I have to talk to my friend Mike and see what the overall plan is. I don't know what we're doing this year.
I'm assuming neither of you other gentlemen are going to be coming up since it's a considerable distance from you.
Unfortunately, not.
Well, poo.
I'll watch every game, though. The cool thing about my job now is even though they ruined the K9 program here, they definitely gave us Sundays off. So most of the time we play on Sundays. So I'm going to get football action, and I don't have to take time off. I know I'm not going to miss it or I have to watch it out in the desert. So I'll be tuning in along with you guys. And we did discuss this year, so we will let you guys know ahead of time on the page, which is something we can kind of early promote now since the draft is over and we're going to head to training camp soon. We like to do live discussions during the game and just like let out frustrations and say what's up with everybody. So definitely get to be a part of that again because that was a lot of fun. That was very well received by everyone.
Oh God, the people who were with us during the Saints game. Oh boy! If you were
the Discord chat, yeah, that was.
Discord. I'm sorry, I said discuss because that's what's on fan sided. Discord is a chat. My apologies.
Man, the people that were with us in that Discord chat, we were all feeling the same thing. We were all down. I think a lot of us had maybe even logged out of the chat.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like it exploded. after that play, like all forms of social media. That was a lot of fun. That was great. I encourage everyone to join us.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Lot of fun. That's just about all I have for this week. If you guys got anything else you want to add, go ahead.
It's a short week, guys. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. Thank you for the guys in the chat. I encourage you, highly encourage you to share our social media sites on your social media pages. Let's get one more follower or two for the week. That's it. I just want to say thanks for everybody. We really enjoy you guys interacting in the chat. You guys are a riot, so thank you. He's doing the long drawn out clicks right now. Kyle West. He's doing some important science laboratory stuff.
He's doing some searches to try to see what else he can promote. He's like, should I promote the new Avengers movie? No.
Everyone dies.
Yeah, everybody dies. Spoiler alert.
Sometimes I wonder why I don't watch those Marvel movies, and now I remember.
I've always said one of these days I'm just not going to end the show and see how long before you guys just give up and then just like leave.
Nobody listens at this point of the show anyway. Remember when we tried to give stuff away at the end of a show and nobody wanted anything?
Yeah.
Which was recent, which was funny. Very recent. Nobody caught on, so
no.
We'll save that for a rainy day.
Everybody was kind of tuned out at that point, but I don't blame them.
I'll shout it out. If you're in El Paso area or if you know anywhere around the Las Cruces, New Mexico or El Paso, Texas area for a venue, hit me up. Find us on the Purple People Podcast Facebook page. Shoot us a message. I'm trying to find venues for my Metallica tribute band, Disposable Inc., as in Disposable Incorporated. We're playing a show on June 30th in Alpine, Texas. Woo. That's our first show as me as a new lead singer. I'm really, really excited. The set list is as follows real quick. The Black Album, Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Disposable Heroes, Damage Inc., and Moth into Flame. And maybe, if you're special, we'll play Master of Puppets too.
What about Whiskey in a Jarro?
Whiskey in the Jarro. I was going over. Gotta have that down, man. Everything. And if anything's a yes or no question.
If you grow up in like Minnesota in this area, Jarro is something completely different from a jar.
Well, shout out to my friend Melissa. She just got back from a deployment, and she's from Minnesota. Huge Vikings fan, huge Wild fan. And she was like, do you know what OOF is? And I was like, no. It's like OPF, like OOF. That's a thing that you guys do up there, which is super funny.
It's accurate.
Oh, man.
Kyle Smith, you need to let me know, man, whenever you guys, rehearse, King Nothing.
Okay, we're not doing King Nothing. I tried because so in between the Metallica fans, there's some albums that these guys really love and hate, which is weird because but we love Metallica. I'm trying to get them to play newer stuff. Like the Black Album's kind of in between. We got to play the old stuff, which is cool. I love the older stuff. But anything from Load and Reload, they won't. And I love King Nothing because one of my best friends, rest in peace, one of the best memories I had, first concert ever, was me and him just screaming King Nothing out in the crowd together. But I thought you were going to say Unforgiven. I was like, we definitely do Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
I was trying to get the Memory Remains, but I don't know who else he would get to do the other part.
No, that's from those Load and Reload albums. I'm trying to get them on board, and they're like, those albums suck. I was like, I'm pretty sure they sold like 50 million copies, though.
But there are videos from some of your rehearsal sessions up on your website, on the Facebook page as well, right?
They are. Disposable Inc. And look, it'll be out of El Paso. We just, it was a week ago today. We had band practice, and I was like, you know what? Let's go live. Let's set my phone up. I actually put a little cheap, Kyle, you should look into this too, man. My bass player had a little clip-on fisheye lens. He said it cost him like $6. I clipped on a fisheye lens to the iPhone, and I recorded it and uploaded it, and it actually looks pretty cool. So it's pretty cool for a cheap little investment. So go check those videos out. I think it was Sad But True, The God That Failed. We're working on an edit for Through the Never, and we also did Creeping Death from For Who the Bell Tolls. So
very nice.
Thanks, guys.
Mr. Kyle West has some artwork as well, and I think he sold another Vikings piece recently.
Yeah, I sold a Vikings piece. I sold another great big, someone ordered a metal print, which is really cool. So thank you guys for that. I have a banner now because I have an actual computer that lets me do banners. Down below right here at phantasmdigital.com, you can see my website. I have Vikings prints. I have all kinds of good stuff up on there. So
Hulk Hogan shower curtains, right?
I do. I sold one of those. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. You can order all kinds of silly stuff. You can order like shower curtains and iPhone cases and pillows, and so all of my work that's up there, you can customize it. And so someone took my digital print of Hulk Hogan and ordered it on a fucking shower curtain.
That's what you want. That's what somebody wants them to stare at while they're naked every day.
Yeah. Come on,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, brother.
I was wondering if it wasn't Hulk himself, because I think that's pretty fucking awesome.
That may be one of my favorite. My favorite sale has to be the photograph of a squirrel that someone put on a pillow.
That's so random. That Hulk Hogan shower curtain's pretty up there, man. That might be my new favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny.
You got anything you want to plug, Dorian?
I have nothing. I'm just a Vikings fan, and I just enjoy spending quality time with you people. So yeah.
Not even a Twitter account to talk wrestling with you?
I mean, okay, Twitter. I'm at Gully Blanchard and the number 7.
What is that, by the way? What's the meaning of that?
Gully Blanchard. Okay, few of my friends. Pretty much it's a parody of the Four Horsemen. So my boy Johnny, he's not Ric Flair, he's Thick Flair. And, I took the moniker of, Tully Blanchard, Gully Blanchard.
Okay,
like
cool. Now I know, because that's always, I didn't say it bothered me, but I was like, what the hell does that mean? I need to know the story now.
Great stuff. And you always go to like wrestling signings and events around that area too, like some of the local stuff too, right?
Oh yeah, tried to. Matter of fact, this Saturday, out in Orange County, OCCW. That'll be my second independent show that I'll be attending. So looking forward to that.
Oh, independent wrestling's always fun. I mean, it's nice when they sprinkle in a star here and there to get you in the seats, but it's just so entertaining in person. It is, right. Especially when you can get in on some of the action and be interactive. Like one time I went to a wrestling event and I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. The guy coming down the ring, I was like looking at the other wrestler, and I was like, I ended up dancing because he was using that Digital Underground, Humpty Dance song. So I had my booty moving, and the other wrestler came around. He's like, sit down and stop dancing, because he was the bad guy. And I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh wow.
So much fun. In the meantime, if you like zombies, check out Undead Walking. If you haven't been watching Fear the Walking Dead, you are absolutely missing out on a fantastic show. We're 5 episodes into season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead, and so far it has been a masterpiece. Of course, we're still talking The Walking Dead over there, as well as the comics and games and whatnot, but Fear the Walking Dead is on fire. Also, the Viking Age. If you're a fan of the Minnesota Vikings, you probably are, because you're either listening to this or you're with someone who likes the Minnesota Vikings and is tolerating listening to this. Either way, check out some articles on the Viking Age. We really do appreciate it. Adam and I, as well as our talented staff of writers, do a really good job over there of trying to keep up on all the news and events going on in the world of Minnesota Vikings. So please check it out if you can. On that note, I guess we'll call this episode to a close. This will be the first one in under an hour that I think we've had in a long time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it is the off season, not a ton going on, and we already talked enough about shower curtains, so we can call this good. I do appreciate everyone hanging out in the chat. Hit us up on all the places that we are if you feel like it. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, PodOMatic, Google Podcasts. So many places. Of course, right here you can watch us with video on YouTube and join us live. Hit like, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. Feel free to interact with us on Facebook and Twitter. We're always around on there. Also, our personal accounts information is in the bottom section if you're interested in hitting us up there.
I can make this episode last to an hour because I cannot believe I forgot to tell this story. I'm really sorry. You're going to like this, guys, because I was obnoxious. I drive Uber sometimes to make a little extra cash down here in El Paso. You'll never guess who I picked up this weekend. Can you guess our arch nemesis? Can you guess someone who has UTEP ties at the University of Texas, El Paso?
Joe Buck.
Aaron Jones, the running back for Green Bay Packers.
No shit.
Get the...
Yeah. Oh my God! So because we don't think about the Packers ever here, but I was just sitting here, you know, I wouldn't say dozing off because Adam's not boring. I was my ADD kicked in. So on Saturday, I got a lucky.
Well, you've heard that outro like 100 times.
Yeah, we've heard it a bunch, but you nail it every time. So I was thinking of I had to tell you guys this. So I get a request, and it's 3 guys, and I can see the one was really jacked, and I was like, oh shit. He's like, hey man, and this is just I'm going to paraphrase because I don't want to drop any F-bombs on there. He's like, I don't F with that hat in the front. And I was like, I didn't know who it was.
Vikings hat?
Well, I have a Vikings hat in the dash of my truck. And
fuck, this is good.
Yeah, man. So he goes, hey, I don't know if I can get in that truck. And I was like, why? Do you need help? And he's like, no, I don't F with that hat in the front.
Need help?
Like, well, yeah, because I'm technically representing Uber. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, here it is. I was like, well, I realized he was joking around. I was like, oh, you can walk if you need to. So he got in. We were talking a little bit, right? So we're going back and forth. And then I looked. I was like, oh, my gosh. I was like, what's your name? He's like, Aaron. I was like, oh, my goodness. This is Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers. So I was like, hey, did you just graduate? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, dude, dope. Congratulations. Like, that's the most important thing. I was like, who's your favorite team? And he just looked at me. And I looked at him. I was like, are you Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. So I asked him, the general stuff, what is the worst thing about, being an NFL player? He said, the worst thing about it is my body hurts a lot because I'm just always using it. He's like, so do you go to the gym? I said, yeah, if I'm in the military, and which is cool. He was like, oh, you're in the military, respect. So I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. So we're talking, and he's like, yeah, what do you do for your workouts? It's like usually about an hour and a half, 45 lifting, 45 cardio. He's like, that's what I warm up with every day, like 5 a.m. He's like, then I go to practice, then I go to meetings, then I work out again. He's like, not to mention the games. He's like, your body just takes a beating. He's the University of Texas El Paso's all-time leading rusher, which is crazy because he's not even the number 1 running back for the Packers. But I said, hey, man, I'm a Vikings fan. What you think about that Mike Zimmer defense? And he's like, you got an amazing head coach. He's like, and that defense is great. He's like, but I'm going to tell you what. And he's like, my boy's coming back this year, and he's pretty pissed off. And it's like, and he says in his own words, he goes, you can write it down and put my name on the check. We're going to the Super Bowl because that man's going to tear up the league this year. And I was like, well, that's not what I wanted to hear.
I mean, would you bet against Aaron Rodgers with the chip on his shoulder?
No, I wouldn't. And there's nobody else I would take more in clutch time. But, man, the greatest part of the story, and I had to get it to you guys, is drop the mom and say, hey, man, congratulations again on graduation. Good luck, best of luck to you this year. And then when I rolled my window up, it went up right there at the Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber line right at my nose. I was like, skull! And then I left. And he wasn't very happy with that because I think it was dropping him off at like a graduation party type deal because it was to another house. But yeah, dude, I gave Aaron Jones and the Green Bay Packers a ride, and he did not like my hat in the front of my truck.
Now the question is, did you get a good comment or a tip?
Did get a tip, and I didn't get a negative rating. My rating has continually gone up since I've been driving. So
nice.
But I don't think that it was him in his account. I think it was one of his friends. So yeah, man, I forgot to tell you guys on Saturday.
It was awesome. We should have kicked the show off with that.
It's a pretty cool story. It's a good way to end, actually.
It just slipped my mind, but I had to tell my friend here, who's a super big Packer fan, he was so mad. It's just, you didn't call me. I was like, no, I'm not going to FaceTime you while I'm driving, man.
Well, we did make it through the show without talking about Katie Nolan, though.
I was watching her earlier today.
I bet you were. Through binoculars or what?
Yeah, she's got very nice curtains.
I think we better get going. This is going a little too far.
It's Adam's fault.
Thanks again to everyone for joining us in the chat.
Scott in the chat. No. He used his Fall Guys Uber account.
Oh, no. You guys. Too much. All right. Just stay classy, Minnesota.